Okay, well, let's move on from World Liberty Financial unless there's anything you'd like to add, and let's get into a little Bitcoin digital asset treasury company roundup. So let's see here. Okay, so we have a report from cryptoquant.com, which draws on chain data. And the authors are saying that demand is cooling despite the headline records. So if you look at this chart here, we're showing the figures. Basically, the growth of Bitcoin DATs has leveled off here over the last month or two. We saw a lot of growth in the start of the year, post Trump election, and it has basically leveled off. So still a lot of transactions, but buys are smaller. Yeah, basically the appetite per deal has waned. Now,
And
yeah,
you
go
and I
ahead.
talked about this we haven't looked closely at the data and seen if it's been broken down, but we imagine that if you were to break apart the U.S. from this versus the rest of the world, um, the U.S. is probably slowed down a lot more than the rest of the
Yeah,
world.
even more pronounced because yeah, the U.S. started this whole Bitcoin DAT game, and it's permeated around the world. So they're kind of catching up. So still growing elsewhere. We have a little report here also from BitcoinTreasuries.net, which shows that the Bitcoin DATs now control 1 million BTC in total. So they broke the 1 million BTC milestone for the first time. That's about 5% of Bitcoin's supply held by digital asset treasury companies.
Pretty wild. All right.
Yeah.
Next up, we have Sora Ventures. They unveiled a Bitcoin Treasury fund targeting $1 billion in purchases within 6 months. The backers have reportedly committed 200 million to start now, and essentially the goal is to buy Bitcoin over a defined window. And this whole thing is pitched as Asia's first fund of its kind. The initiative is designed as a central pool of institutional capital. It differs from companies that hold Bitcoin on their own books. The pool intends to support existing treasury and seed new ones. So it's kind of like an aggregator, right? It's it's not going to hold the Bitcoin directly. It's just going to power the companies that will hold the Bitcoin directly.
So Bitcoin treasury companies in Asia potentially getting a boost from this big fund.
Yeah, it sounds like a Nakamoto kind of thing, right? Like a David Bailey's Nakamoto, where they're trying to seed or be a part of a bunch of different treasury companies.
Yes. And speaking of Nakamoto, they're part of the on the table investing in Treasury, which is a new DAT in Europe, and that has raised $147 million. And it's aiming to become Europe's largest Bitcoin DAT. So the round, as mentioned, included Nakamoto Holdings, Winklevoss Capital, and a bunch of others. So they've already amassed a 1,000 Bitcoin and will focus on entering European stock markets through a reverse listing with some company that no one's ever heard of called MKB NedSense. And their
What a
aim is to
terrible
be listed
name.
on it. Aim is to be listed on Amsterdam's Euronext.
But dude, just as an aside, I hate the name of this new vehicle, Treasury. Good Lord, it's right out of the strategy playbook. I mean, it's just going to make it. It's so annoying to then talk about treasury companies and you have
Yeah,
to talk about a company called Treasury. Oh Lord,
yeah, yeah.
not a fan.
It's like if we're, it's like naming your internet company Internet.
Yes, 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 yes. But the last story, of course, is going to be about Strategy, the company formerly known as MicroStrategy. Um, So this is the granddaddy of all these treasury plays, the one that kicked this off many years ago. Arthur Hayes at WebEx said that the goal of all of these digital asset treasury companies is to get big enough to be in an index so you can then receive passive funds. If anyone could do it, it had to be MicroStrategy. However, despite meeting all the requirements, strategy was excluded from being added to the list that would bring to the S&P, right? And it's not going to get those massive flows. So there are a number of issues here. First and foremost, being added to something like the S&P 500 index is made in private. Some people I've heard are complaining about this. I think they need to grow up. The S&P 500 is not it's not a government organization. They don't have to answer to anyone like that. So whatever.
Well,
But
I mean, they do need to have an air of credible neutrality, I guess, but
do they?
or
I
not?
mean,
I'm not sure.
It's an index,
Yeah,
right?
it's not Ethereum.
It's not Ethereum. Nothing like that. I think it's just some like people like Bitcoin maxis. At least this is what I've heard. Bitcoin maxis upset about this. But anyway, the bigger thing is though, it definitely undermines one of the pillars that strategy has been talking about. So their business model, if it makes sense, will get these passive flows, and people have to automatically allocate to the S&P. Would then have to allocate to buying Bitcoin. It's not happening, Graham.
Not happening just yet. We'll wait for the next round table from these insiders when they. I guess we have to wait another year. Maybe? How often do they readjust this? Every quarter, I think.
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah.
So
well, MS strategy not included. Robinhood notably was included this time. So passive flows now coming to the Robinhood stock.
Bam. But they might hold some amount of Bitcoin on their balance sheet, but I think it's mostly custodial.